Anyway, that's why you always cut pickles long ways.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Welcome to Live Edge, episode number next. I'm Matt.
I'm Amy.
Welcome to the show. On this episode, we got 7 brand new RYOBI tools to tell you about and a new Oliver planer that the channel members, the 2 Before Nation, let me know about right before this stream. And so I think we're going to let the dog hack on my arm. Say it, don't spray it. Lloyd's in the house.
Oh my goodness. So sorry that we missed you guys last week. We
were under the weather.
Battling COVID in our house. But we think everyone's on the up and up now. So
yep. All right, so we always start the show out with a tool deal of the week. I actually have a few of them to show you. Actually, I don't even know if my mouse is going to work.
Did it die?
Yeah, I'm going to need that plug-in you got there.
Can you use that?
Nope.
Oh, this?
I need yours. That's the Oliver planer I told you about. My mouse is dead right here. Right,
there you go.
Now we're back in business. So if you don't know, I post tool deals every day on my website. If you go to 731woodworks.com and you click on that tool deals button, it's going to bring you to this page. And there's several brand new deals today that you can go check out from Milwaukee. That's that today only deal in the Milwaukee. These little organizers are 20% off and now back in stock. They sold out after that last video I did. Of course, routers and different things like that. But this is the deal of the day. And it's actually the shop button right here on YouTube. If you click the shop button under the screen, this deal is going to show up. It's today only. Today only, January 28, 2025. This is on sale for only $79. And it's a link in the description direct to this, or you can use that shop button here on YouTube. But this is a really good deal because this normally goes on sale for $99, and now it's on sale to $79. It's the lowest price I've ever seen it. DeWalt 20 volt max XR oscillating multi-tool. Again, it expires at midnight tonight. So if you want this, you better jump on it.
That made me. Anybody else hear that song go through their head when he said that? Jump on it.
That's what I thought too.
Sorry.
But there's some really good deals out there. If you're searching for tool deals, I think the number was on the screen too when I was talking about that. If you just text the word deals to that number, I text out these deals regularly so that you don't miss any. And so I hope you save some money. All right, so let's talk about these brand new tools that just got released today. I got the email from RYOBI. Oh man, I deleted my tools video. Oh, well. Was the other screen looking like that? I hope not.
Like what?
All crazy like that.
Probably.
I don't think so. Anyway, so let's talk about these brand new. First off, let's talk about the Oliver. The brand new Oliver planer just got announced, and it's been kind of floating around in these trade shows and stuff like that. I believe STL in the chat here said that he saw it at IWF in Atlanta. This is a new 15-inch helical head cutter. It's a benchtop planer, kind of. But this thing's going to be big. Like, it's big. 15 inches wide. It's going to be $1,700. It's very expensive, but it may be the last planer you ever buy, right? 2.5 horsepower, 230 volt motor, 2-speed gearbox. So similar to the DW735X. I think this might be the DW735X killer. Yeah, kind of, because of the price. It's going to kind of not kill the DW735, but it's going to be really nice. Built-in digital readout there. Roller on the top, passing boards over. That's going to be nice to have. Big dust exgestion, big lowering arm there. But one thing that's kind of surprising to me is the size of this thing. If we can get to it, it's got these big old outfeed tables. It's going to be folded down 4 feet long. So you're going to have a lot of space for this thing. Yep, that's a big old planer. And then 28 inches wide, but it is, 15 inches of cut area there. So, and of course, their famous helical head. So, well, what do you think about that? Let us know in the chat. Price, not considering the price. What do you think about that, or considering the price? I mean, it's a hefty machine, but it's also a very industrial looking machine. So maybe not good for hobbyists or even beginners, obviously. But anyway, all right, now on to slower price stuff. Check out this. RYOBI is just announced 7 brand new Gen 2 18 volt 1 plus HP line of tools, and this is the first one. The brushless 1/2-inch drill and driver is coming soon. Now, when you see these numbers, if I'm not mistaken, this 65% more torque up to 850 pounds, I think that's talking about their non-brushless tools, if I'm not mistaken. I think I saw that in a video earlier. But so keep that in mind. So non-brushless to these new Gen 2, not comparing this new Gen 2 to the Gen 1 HP, 1 Plus HP, whatever they got going on there. So that's the first one there. Pretty nice. Looks cool, I guess. This one's the one I would probably pick up if I'm looking, because this also has, it looks the same, but they're different because this is the hammer drill. This is 45% faster hammer drilling, again, comparing to the brushed motors, and then 65% more torque, up to 850 pounds. So they got the same amount of torque in these two, but the hammer drill has that hammer drill function. And I believe this says metal chuck. I think the other one's metal too. Yeah, metal ratcheting chuck on both. So they're very similar. This just adds that hammer function. Their third tool, I guess, it would be the brand new 18 volt. Can I not say 1 Plus HP every time? I think it's just brand new impact driver. It's the Gen 2. All of these are releasing in March, from what I gathered from the press release. So I think you only have to wait about another month, and then you can get your hands on these at the Home Depot. But the good thing is, if you click the shop button under this video right now, you will be able to see those products. A lot of these Gen 1s are already on sale, and the Gen 1s are fantastic. I have several in the shop. There's nothing wrong with them. So if you want to get a deal on them and not worry about the latest and greatest, now would be the good time to pick them up because they're already on sale. All right. So anyway, this one gives you up to 2,300 pounds of torque. Most powerful impact driver, their most powerful impact driver, 45% more or faster driving, up to 4,200 RPMs. Nice little impact if you're in the market. 7¼ inch circular saw, the new Gen 2 will be up to 370 cuts per charge. That's really good battery life. If you know, some of their older tools didn't get the greatest battery life, so I'm glad to see that's increasing, and I've seen that over the last 2 years. RYOBI's done a fantastic job over the last 2 years. This video is not sponsored or anything like that. I just sharing the news with you. It says 3 times faster cutting. Again, I think that's comparing it to the older brushed motors. All of these announced tools are linked in the description. If you want to go check them out for yourself after the video, you just go click on whatever tool you're interested in. They're all listed down there for you to go check out, so you can read up on all the specs. They've got a new recip saw coming out. This is, again, the Gen 2. All of these are Gen 2 1 Plus HP brushless tools. And then a grinder. This one's already available. See the add to cart. So that's the only one that's currently available right now. And then also this oscillating tool is also ready to go. So that is the 7 brand new RYOBI tools. Let me know what you think in the chat. What you think about those new tools. Something you'd check out or maybe pick up. How did I do that again?
What'd you do?
I had split screen. Or something maybe you can pick up some of these first generation tools and save some money. Because I'm telling you, I've had, I just did a video on RYOBI, things I wish I knew.
Toys are getting expensive.
Yeah. Yeah, I like RYOBI's tools, man. Yeah, she went back that way. Probably get water.
Okay.
But I haven't had any issues with them.
Cade Valder said, I still want it even if it's not for me. I think he's talking about the planer because he said, I don't have a planer. I just run over my wood with my Jeep. Don't recommend it. It doesn't work.
That's hilarious. LFL83 says, what type of computer do you use for your YouTube channel, live stream, Mac, or PC? We're on a Mac Studio here is what we're running here. I got a MacBook Pro that we use for travel and things like that.
Yeah, we are 100%
Mac.
Apple.
I like the Mac
here.
products.
Yeah. We have been for years, though.
Yeah.
When I was teaching school, we had regular PCs there, and it was so hard for me to transition to that.
So for a long time, I had a Dell XPS 13 PC that I used for editing and all kinds of stuff. And I was trying to use DaVinci Resolve, and it just kept lagging and stuff. The PC just wasn't powerful enough to do any edits, especially when you start adding graphics and music and stuff. And so I ended up getting a MacBook something and started running Final Cut, and it was much better. All right. Foxo says, I'm doing car audio stuff. I need to know if there are products that will help me do circles to do custom shapes if needed on this router. Yeah, there's a router jig out there. I think Mousecraft makes a circle cutting jig. There's several templates and things you can use. If you just use a template bit with your whatever custom shape you got, if you make a template out of that, then you can just use a template bit to follow along that and cut that shape out again and again. So that's what I would do. Says RT Antique says it would be the last planer I ever buy. She would unlife me.
Unlive me.
Yes. Yeah, it's a very expensive planer.
Oh,
very
unlife
expensive.
me is what he said.
John Smith said, just got the 735X planer package, free outfeed tables, extra set of blades. Very happy. It's a very nice planer. Very nice. Well, it is the best as far as I'm concerned in that price range, because the new 13-inch Oliver planer is not in that price range. It has a helical head, which is fantastic, but it's also not. Like the DW 735X, you can get on sale for sometimes as low as $499 or $549, and so that's a fantastic deal. And the Oliver will cost you over $1,000 or right at $1,000 with a helical head. So,
shoot, I almost put somebody in timeout again.
What are you trying to do?
If y'all ever get put in timeout and you've not done anything, I'm so sorry.
David Johnson says, I love to get them, but the problem is my nearest Home Depot is over an hour away.
Ours too.
Yeah, ours is an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
So. Ron Woodcheck says, I love them RYOBI tools. Definitely a fanboy.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Thank you. He said, I just wanted to say thank you guys for everything. I sent you a DM on Instagram going on what you've done for me, but I wanted to make sure you know what you do is changing lives.
Thank you. Appreciate you. C&G Creation says, I got the RYOBI nail gun and staple guns, and they're a lot better than I thought they would be. That's typically so one thing I see a lot on the RYOBI videos I do, a lot of people comment about how terrible they are, or they're made for housewives. I saw that one today. And I was like, they've never...
What's wrong with us housewives?
Exactly. They've probably never used them. And that's kind of the gist I got. Now, some people just don't like the color, and that's fine, because I can understand that.
RYOBI's color.
Some people hate it. Somebody hate that bright color. Some people want the red tools. They want the yellow tools or whatever. Like that's a thing. Like people buy tools based on the color of them, and some people avoid tools based on the color, which is fine. But I think most of their newer stuff, the RYOBI newer stuff, is fine. Now, some of their older stuff is a little underpowered. The battery life's not as good. But these new One Plus stuff, like I've got Milwaukee out there. I've got DeWalt out there. I got RYOBI. RYOBI's just as good. Like it's just good. No heavy problem. Tim Rose, watching from the UK, says midnight there. So I love my RYOBI tools, and I got into them after I bought a cheap string trimmer, and then needed a drill. We have to wait ages to get stuff here.
We love watching shows from the UK.
Yeah.
Just side note there, like y'all have the best
we keep saying
phrases for
we're gonna
everything.
have to remember that phrase, and then we forget it.
Y'all have the best phrases for everything.
There's Cade's comment. I'll pop that on the screen. Thank you, Cade. Logan Cross says, I got a Festool 155 last Monday, and I have the Festool 36E. That's a sander with a dust extractor for those who want it interpreted. And the 3M extract sandpaper, it keeps getting clogged. I changed the bag, and the bag wasn't full. Do you have a way to help? What are you sanding, Logan? Thank you, JG259. Lowell, that first tool was a RYOBI drill, so it's sentimental to him.
Sentimental value.
Jason Priester says, thanks for the review of the Bauer miter gauge. So I got a bunch of comments on that video. That video's doing well. A lot of people say maybe try tweaking those miter bar adjustments and see if that puts it back square, because it was slightly out of square at the 0 detent. I haven't tried that yet, so I'm going to give it a go and see if that happens. A lot of people said you could just shim it up because it was barely off. And so you could put a real thin shim behind the fence. That would fix it, obviously. But I've seen a lot of reviews and a lot of comments on that people that bought it, it was dead on. Seen a couple comments says theirs was off a little bit too. So it's $45. So if it's off, you might swap it out and have one dead on. So maybe worth a try.
RYOBI is one of those love-hate things.
Yeah, it's a polarizing. Harbor Freight's polarizing. RYOBI's polarizing. So, yeah.
It's so funny.
But Milwaukee and DeWalt is too, just not as hard. Now, Milwaukee and DeWalt people go at each other, and then everybody goes at RYOBI for some reason. John Smith answering Daniel. I didn't see Daniel's question, but he says, go with the Skill 10-inch. The rack and pinion fence is awesome. Less than $300. I recommend that one too. It's a really good budget option. I actually just ordered the Hercules 10-inch benchtop saw. Should be here tomorrow. It was on sale. It is on sale, or was, at Harbor Freight for $100 off. So I got it for $279, I think. So I'm curious to see how that performs.
Miss Louise said green with envy. LOL.
Yeah.
Steve Williams says he has a problem with the prices on those yellow and red tools and anything with Festool on it.
Yeah, they're all pricey.
They're pricey, huh?
But to be fair, I mean, as somebody's pointed out on one of those RYOBI videos, these newer RYOBI tools are starting to inch up a little bit too, because you're paying for the newer technology.
Yeah.
You know? But the good thing is a lot of their older stuff, even the first gen One Plus stuff, is going on sale. So you can always, and if you don't know, I'm putting these deals out, y'all, and you don't have to pay full price for this stuff. Like there's only if it's brand new. Like
I can't tell y'all how many
release.
hours that Matt spends looking for these deals.
Like it's insane. I have an obsession with finding them.
He really does.
731 works. Go to the tool deals button, and like days and like this is just yesterday and today. There's that Hercules saw down to 279. But like I just look for this stuff. Somebody had just commented they picked up this deal, $75 off that Bosch 6-inch sander that's going on right now. But yeah, I mean, there's no reason to pay brand new prices for this stuff. Like this DeWalt's XR combo that's on sale today only, $79. Hit that shop button. It is regular or retail $199. So there's no reason to pay full price if you don't have to. If you're patient, I say.
Yeah.
Some people aren't patient, and I get that.
You're not patient.
I'm not patient at all.
Chris P. Chicken says.
That's fantastic.
I love it. I was really going to try to get through that without laughing.
And
But
then
anyway.
there I come in.
Yeah. Chris P. Chicken says.
I just understood.
Stop.
I just like the name.
Crispy Chicken.
I know, and then I caught it. It was like one of those joke grenades. It just took a minute.
Says that he's been super satisfied with his RYOBI tool so far. No complaints. And he says it's so cool to catch a live stream.
Thank you for showing up.
Crispy, it's so cool to have you here.
We do like crispy chicken around here.
We really do, y'all. All right, we're not going to get on the food tangent, but gosh, I love that name.
That's fantastic.
I've been sitting here for a while preparing myself to say it, and then
I've messed that all up.
you messed it all up.
SQ08, do you ever use scroll saws? I've never used a scroll saw. It's not something I've ever found that I needed, but the people that use them are absolutely amazingly talented. I know DeWalt had one on for like $100 off not too long ago. I posted it on the tool deals. But just because I don't use it don't mean I'm not going to find a deal for something and put it on there. I always try to put those deals on there. But we've got some really cool gifts from people that have done scroll saw work. And I thought it was done on a CNC, one of them. Remember the picture of us?
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was done on CNC. It was scroll saws.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Gosh, y'all are some talented people out there. The mix of talent between everybody is just so
amazing.
insane.
Jason Jules says, what would you say the 10-inch skill or is as good as a 10-inch DeWalt? I think the DeWalt's going to slightly edge it out, just materials and things like that. But that's not saying that the skill is bad. The skill's a very good saw. I just think DeWalt uses a little bit better materials and things on there, like the way the table and all is formed. I got the little 8 1/4 DeWalt table saw. Love it. I keep it around just to have a job site saw. And I think it's a really well-made saw.
Super chat. Entertainment Now. I had to read that one twice. Says, can we get a workshop tour?
I did one about 8 months ago, and not a lot has changed, really.
Yeah, it really hasn't. You could do an updated one, though.
Yeah, I could.
You could at least do a short or a
yeah,
reel.
May do a short or a reel on that.
Yeah. That'll be easy to do. Now that you've cleaned it.
Yeah, I got it all cleaned up. I got some space back.
Yeah.
Stephanie says, that's how I did my Christmas shopping last year for my husband, was your tool deals. Well, thank you.
That's a good way to do it.
It sure is.
Oh, I got hair in my eye. There we go.
Creature says, Home Depot has rigid 2-pack 4-amp-hour high output batteries with a free tool for $129. That's a good deal. That's awesome. Fix It French, thank you. Says he took off tonight so he could be here tonight.
Oh,
I appreciate you.
We were sad that we missed last week.
I was trying to make sure I got everybody's questions or anything.
Have you done
If I
any
missed
of
you,
Think
just
Media's
react.
courses?
No, I have not. I heard they're
Grant
good,
wants to know.
but I haven't taken any of them. Matt Bridges says, I've sawed for 25 years. Do you have any specific questions? Matt would like to help you out if you're looking for that.
So if y'all have a scroll saw question, just pop it in the chat and say for Matt, and we'll know it's not this one.
Which is the best router lift to buy? If I was buying one today, so I have the Craig Precision router lift, fantastic router lift. I'd probably look really hard at the Jessa Master Lift too. It's just, I like it a lot. I've got my eye on it. But that's the one I like. But there's a lot of good ones out there. But Jessa makes really good stuff. Where do you store all of those tools that you do these reviews on? LOL. Andy Gunderson. Now, we give a lot of them away.
Mm-hmm.
We just gave a whole pile of them away
And
Monday.
we say a pile, we mean
it was a truckload. And so we just do this at random. Sometimes we give them away to the channel. Sometimes I pick a needy woodworker that I know of or hear about close by, or sometimes within driving, they can come pick it up or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But we just pass them along. Most of the stuff we review on the channel we're buying.
Mm-hmm.
And some things we get sent to us, like RYOBI tools. Sometimes we get some of this new stuff. Oliver planer I got sent to me. So there are some stuff we get, but I try to pass it all along because I can't obviously keep or use it all.
Sometimes we talk about him wanting to do a review on something that all of you are asking for, and he doesn't have the room for it. So that's what we do. We talk about it, and we're like, okay, if we buy this, how are we going to give it away? Yeah. So it's kind of that deal.
Yeah, the Bauer dust extractor, 32-gallon dust extractor. We're getting a lot of requests for that, but it's a bigger tool, so it would take up a little bit of space.
Cobra Pup has a question. You're probably not down to it yet, but I'll go ahead and ask it. It says, okay, probably need more info, but I was blessed at work and have an extra $1,000 and can't decide on a new table saw or a CNC. I really want a CNC. Is $1,000 enough to get a good one?
I would love to answer. STL, are you in here?
Yeah, Greg's in there. So
STL, can you help him? I'm not sure on that one because most of it depends on what you're looking for in a CNC, I think. A lot of your even hobbyist level CNCs are $3,000 and up, so it may be more beneficial to get you a new table saw. I think Greg here at STL can help you out more than I can because he's more versed on CNCs.
Greg said not going to get a good CNC for less than $3.
Ed March says, love my Bob's CNC Evo 4. So you may want to check that out.
Okay.
One thing about the lower cost CNCs you'll run into is accuracy, capacity, power, that kind of stuff. And not saying that some of those might not work for you. It depends on what you're making, right? But you also, if you spend $1,000 on a tool, like that's a significant amount of money, and you're going to want results out of that. And if it's a CNC that's not getting you the job done for you, or you run into limitations very quickly, say you're doing signs or something, or custom cutting boards, and then somebody wants one that's bigger than it can handle, and then you start, oh man, I wish I'd have just waited and got one that was this size type thing. I've got the 2 foot by 4 foot, and I've never felt like I needed one much bigger. So yeah, I think you'll wind up outgrowing it a little too fast.
That's what
Ed Mark
Greg
says.
said.
But I have heard some things about that Bob's CNC. He said $1,270, so that's in your price range there. So you may want to check that out. I've heard things about it, but I've never looked at them. So I would check out Bob's CNC Evo 4 and see if that's something that might work for you. Alt mill is $3,200. Yeah, so if you're looking at CNCs, a lot of people love alt mill, Onefinity, or Carbide 3D, the Shapeoko. CNG Creations says take that $1,000 and get you a really good laser if you don't have one. So you got some options. It's got some options. I would check all those out. There you go. Ryan says my Fox Alien for just under $1,000 works for me, but I haven't done anything over a 15 by 15. Check out Onefinity or the alt mill.
Logan says the wood he was sanding was an oak and canary wood cutting board. He got the wood at Rockler.
Or do you have enough suction on the dust extractor? You said you had the Festool dust extractor. Is it turned down too low? May need to turn it up a little bit. You may need to dial the speed back on your sander if it's getting too hot, or if you're putting too much pressure on there. That can cause the sander, especially that canary, oak too, really, can cause it to cake up on that sandpaper really fast because heat is the enemy of your sanding. So if you're holding it in place too long, putting too much pressure down, or it's not getting enough suction on there, or a combination of all three of those, that's maybe what you're seeing that, and then not enough suction. So So check all three of those. Maybe lighter pressure, a little less spin on the sander, and then a little more suction. That should clear it up. Cover Pup says, "Oh, a laser! I could do a laser."
Yeah. And John Smith said CNCs can be expensive. Plus, you need a dedicated computer for most of them. Get the table saw. So there are lots of things you need to take into consideration there.
Grant Butler says, how often should I replace my sandpaper? When it stops sanding? Like when it starts getting dirty? Like usually a good piece of sandpaper will last a decent amount of time. It depends on what you're sanding and how much you're sanding. I mean, you can get 20, 30 minutes easily out of a 120 grit sandpaper. The higher grit, if you're sanding rougher material, maybe a little less than that. So it just depends on what you're sanding, really. But you should be able to get 20, 30 minutes. The 3M stuff lasts a long time. It doesn't. So a long time ago, I was using, I can't remember the name of that sandpaper. It was a cheap Amazon sandpaper. That's what I used for a long time. And I was replacing that pretty quick. And when you get to 3M, it's not so much, especially when you have dust extraction, because it's not getting caked up on there. And the way they bond that, what do you call it, Steph?
What?
Yeah, the grit to the paper, it doesn't come off, and so it's just a good stuff. But I also like Festool paper. It lasts a very long time too.
Michael Brown is traveling through Arkansas today.
Well, be careful. The troopers get you out there.
Yeah, they will. You gotta watch them things.
William Harper says, "Love the channel. What is a good starting router for someone wanting to try out woodworking? Bosch or Makita? Either one of those. I think right now you can get the Bosch router on Amazon for about $79 or so. There are cheaper ones on there. There's a Vivor one. There's some very off-brand ones on there. I would steer clear of those. They work okay, but I think you're going to be disappointed over time. I think I would just stick with the name brands. Bosch has always been a really name brand router. And I think that Bosch Colt's I think it's on sale right now for $79, which is a good price for that router. That's what I would do. There was one more right there.
That one.
Benjamin says, I got the DeWalt trim router instead of a job site table saw. For a beginner, is it the right decision? Depends on what you're making. A table saw is a very useful tool, but so is a router. And if you have other ways to cut the wood and you're getting by with that, then the router might be helpful to you. It just depends on what you're making.
Where are you at over here?
Finn says, does the Australian timber oil spray can work well? I've never used that one, honestly. I've always used the gallon and poured it in my sprayer.
Yeah.
It should work okay.
I think yours is in a different order over here
It
than
may
mine.
be. Mine comes in weird.
Yeah.
What is there one I missed?
No, this is the one that
Okay.
Tiffany M.
What'd you say?
She wants to know if you have any tips for sanding. Is that melamine board or melamine? What kind of board is that?
Melamine. Yeah.
Melamine?
I've never sanded that.
She's redoing 4 3x3 storage cubes. That's a lot.
Isn't melamine really thin stuff, like a veneer type stuff?
I don't know. Does anyone else that's listening have any experience with sanding that? Maybe could give Tiffany some tips on it.
Use a mask.
Yes, definitely. It's a chemical compound. So make sure you use a mask, a good mask.
It's a type of plastic. Okay. I don't know. I've never sanded that stuff.
STL says, I would not see a need to sand it.
Are you trying to like repaint it or something? Is that what's going on?
It's what they make skateboard ramps out of.
It says it's very difficult to sand down, so it's best to avoid this pitfall, is what 5-star painting says.
Hey.
Yo.
Do you know what time it is?
Power tip time.
Power tip. And then we'll finish talking about the sanding. No. Make sure you always slice your pickles lengthwise.
There you go. There's your power tip. Power tip is don't pay full price for tools. No. I don't know. I think a good power tip would be no matter where you are in your woodworking journey, we always kind of get in a rut or we start overthinking things and we don't want to do the next project or take on that project. We don't think we can. Or as a beginner, you don't think you can do any of it. And you're like, hey, you kind of talk yourself out of starting certain things. And I think one of those things we need to do is just kind of forget all that and just do it or just start. And then everything will kind of fall into place after that. Because and then consistency, I think I would rather make this the power tip. consistency. There was a quote. What was that quote?
I don't know, but while you find it, I'll say this. Another thing that I would say is a lot of you are talking about whether you should buy this or that. You know, which one would you need first? You have the money to get one thing, but you're not sure if you need something else. Really think about it. But if you get enough money to buy one tool, but it's not actually the one you would prefer to get first, don't run out and buy it just because you have enough money to buy that one. If there's another tool that would be more beneficial to you and you could get it sooner rather than having to start the saving process over again because you've bought one you don't really need yet, wait. Save your money until you can save up and get the tool you actually want. And this is a hard one.
It's very difficult.
This means you have to practice patience.
And patience and discipline suck.
It's so hard. But be patient and wait on the tool. This was something Matt did in the very beginning. He would run out and buy, once he had enough money to buy something, he would buy the worst of something because it was what he had the money for. So he had to start learning to wait and save until he got one that would actually work for him.
Yep.
So, did you find it?
No. I had it earlier today because I used it somewhere else.
The point of it is consistency matters.
Well, one thing I was going to say is like being consistent with something versus like going all in on something for a short amount of time is way more powerful. And a lot of people underestimate the power of consistency. We wouldn't be sitting here today in front of you if we weren't consistent about posting videos on YouTube for 3+ years and nobody was watching them. Almost nobody, you know, in relation, you know what I mean? Like compared to what is happening now. And so, but that 3 years of consistency taught more lessons than I could ever explain to you on how to do this stuff, how to do woodworking, how, you know, figure this stuff out. And as you're doing your projects and as you're working, if you're consistently doing that over time, you're getting better and better, and you're learning how to market it better. You're learning how to sell it better, how to price it better. All of that comes with practice, and consistency is where you're going to find that. And if you just do it for a week or two, and then you don't do it for a week or two, or even a month or two, and then you come back to it and you do it for a week, and then you don't do it for a year, and you keep talking yourself out of doing this stuff because maybe you're unconfident, you're not as confident as you need to be. I'm not either. I wasn't either, and I'm still not. And so it's one of those things that's just constantly you're having to overcome that fear of failure or fear of judgment to push past that, and that consistency pays dividends. So just be consistent.
All right. Now, on the sanding, there's a lot of people that have given some kind of advice in there, but she did, I think, say that she was trying to get it smooth. Villeneuve said to use a sanding block. She said that she was told she needs to scuff sand and then prime. STL asked if she was trying, or said you can scuff it and then prime, then paint. So maybe that can get you heading in the right direction. So, I'm not sure.
From what I gather, you're trying to get paint to stick to it.
Yeah.
And you're roughing up the surface.
A little.
I would use a sanding block. Just get a low grit, like a 80 grit, or probably 80 or 120 grit, and just kind of rough it up and then wipe it down with a microfiber cloth so you remove all of that dust off of it before you put your primer on there. That way it helps bond to it. I think that's what you get.
Tim said a pastor at a church he attended in his hometown said to be careful when praying for patience because God will give you reasons or teach you to be patient.
That's right.
That's true. Never even thought about it that way.
Be careful what you ask for, huh?
It's like that old country song, Thank God for Unanswered Prayers.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah. Antoine said, that's why God sent me a Doberman. I had one of those.
Yeah. Well, we have Italian Greyhounds now, and I promise you they will teach you patience.
They test the Jesus in you pretty much 24 hours a day. Our boy he's well seasoned. He's in his elder years, and his health is declining, and I'm terrified that we're fixing to lose him. Yeah. And I'm trying to be patient with him.
He's maddening. He is really maddening. He is a turd head. My dang cell phone says.
I wondered how you were going to say that.
I've always enjoyed woodworking. It's a family show. Now, however, my regular trade keeps getting in the way, and I fully understand that. It's not. So when I'm talking about consistency, I'm not really saying that you give up your full-time job for that.
Oh yeah.
Or let that get in the way because life happens and we all have to eat, right? And so what I mean by consistency is like consistently working on something over a period of time. So if you're having to do your woodworking and then your job takes you away, maybe you work on the road or something like that, or even you're just dog tired, right? That's different than, not wanting to do it because you're a little worried about what people will think or you're not good enough. Like that's what I was trying to get
at. Because that's
I
what
didn't,
Matt
I didn't
had
say
to
it
do.
right, But I had to work around my schedule, kids' schedule, family schedule. Like you have to adjust for that stuff over time.
His name is Mike, if you want to say his
Thanks,
name.
Mike.
That dang Mike.
That dang Mike.
That's funny.
Damon says if you want to paint over melamine, remove the melamine and paint the underpayment or apply a different color melamine.
Okay. I bet AJ could do it.
Probably.
Ginger cats test the Jesus out of you too.
Creature says, thanks for all the tools and clamp recommendations. My bank account and my wife really appreciate it.
Uh-oh.
But you save money. You save money.
That's funny.
What's a good beginner planer that will last? It depends on how much you're using it, really. I mean, like if you're using it on occasion, the Craftsman's pretty good. I would try to go up to the DeWalt, even the 734. They're pretty pricey. I mean, a planer is just a pricey tool in general. A lot of people have had good success out of the Cut Tech or the Wahuda brand. I've got a Wahuda joiner. It's 4 years old. Perfectly fine. So one of those brands might be a good option for you as well. But if you get, like she was talking about a while ago, if you can save up a little bit and get the one that's a little bit better, a lot of times it'll last a little longer.
Tiny Shop Builds. Oh, sorry.
What?
You go ahead.
Jim Smith said, I love my RYOBI cabinet and I bought it right after your review. Good job. I'm glad you.
Tiny Shop Build says, just got a new saw stop contractor saw with the new fence. The miter gauge that came with it actually isn't too bad, but
Nice.
I'm looking at others. Any recommendations?
Man, I have a bunch on the channel. I think the Vivor is a really good one. I like the stop block and stuff on that. Woodpeckers for $129. The Woodpeckers one is fantastic. It's the Woodpecker Stealth Stop. I'm a fan of the Stealth Stop blocks. I have it on my miter station. Incra makes some good ones. I wasn't an overall fan of the Incra 1000 SE. It's a good miter gauge, but it's not one. And if you want like top of the line, SawStop has one that's like $500, and it's a Cadillac. Like it's nice. And then Jessam has one that's very nice, and then Harvey has one that's very nice. All those are over $300. So depends on what your budget is.
James Nino has been a member of our One Before Supporter Club for 3 whole years,
Awesome.
36 months.
Thank you, James.
Says, hope you're having a great week.
We are. Thank you.
Everybody's on the upside of COVID.
2-4 Nation, y'all. 2-4 Nation.
Damon said that earlier today, AJ sipped his dad's tea and said, super refreshing.
That's hilarious. He's the cutest little boy ever.
Oh my gosh. I love his videos. I keep telling Matt, this is Damon's grandson. I keep telling Matt, by the time I meet this kid, he's going to be grown.
I know. We've got to make a
get
special
to
trip.
Houston. Yes.
He's going to make a trip.
Woodpeckers all the way. Lean Woodwork says, my Incra is horrible. Some people love woodpeckers, and some people hate woodpeckers.
Chris, we did, for those joining late, we did already talk about the new RYOBI tools. You can watch the replay, but I'll give you a really quick recap. Not right now. Right now. So on the RYOBI tools, they put out a brand new, all of these are Gen 2 18 volt 1 plus HP brushless line. So there's Gen 1s out there. These are all Gen 2. They're all releasing in March except 2 that are already out. This is the new drill. It's a 1/2-inch drill. They also have a new hammer drill, which is what this one is. So the only difference that I could see in these two is one has a hammer function, one does not. They also have the new Impact that's coming out again in March. The new circular saw also coming out in March, but I have the Gen 1 and it's awesome. So and a lot of these are on sale right now. If you click the shop button below this video or just go to Home Depot and look, a lot of these Gen 1s are already on sale. So you might can pick up some of these Gen 1s on sale. New reciprocating saw as well coming out. The 4.5-inch grinder is already out, and then the multi-tool is also already out at Home Depot. So if you don't know, if you're looking at RYOBI tools or rigid cordless tools, do not buy them anywhere other than from Home Depot if you're buying them new, because they are the only authorized dealer. If you see them on Amazon, not an authorized dealer. And so you may have warranty trouble if you have to claim a warranty on it.
Cobra Pup says, hammer time. Can't touch this. I used to be really good at doing that dance.
Yeah. Logan Cross says, have you tried the Shop Nation dust collection for the DeWalt DWS 779? Yep, I put it on there. There's a video on there somewhere. I think miter saw upgrades. Why doesn't everybody do these miter saw upgrades? I think's the name of the video. It's on that thing. It works pretty good.
Antoine said, then you can do your woodworking. All right.
One more question. Last one. Tim Lawrence.
Go ahead.
Says, do you know if there's a different or better fence you can buy for the DeWalt 7491 table saw? I don't. I'm sorry, I don't know if there's a better one out there.
Tiffany said that Home Depot will price match Amazon pricing.
Really?
At least they did for her.
Nice. Most of the
That's
time.
awesome. I didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
So if y'all haven't tried that, try that.
Yep.
Look, the worst they can say is no.
That's right. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And Home Depot's secret for you. The cashiers, I know they don't have many of those anymore, but the cashiers can take up to $50 off any item just for you asking. But you'll catch more honey or more flies with honey than you will vinegar. Is that the old saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be very nice. They don't have to. There's no obligation for them to. So you can't demand it, but they can give you a little discount for those who are not afraid to ask.
Have you used any honey on any of the cashiers at Home Depot?
No.
To get $50?
I have not. Fresh out of honey when I go to Home Depot, unless you're with me.
And on that note, y'all have a great week. Yeah. I'm going to go talk to him about this honey.
Uh-oh. See y'all.
Good night.